Relationship goals for difficult relationships. Relationship goals for difficult relationships. Care what the deal is, care how warm things are, all of your relationships. Every now and then, you're going to run up on a difficult relationship. And what are the goals? What is your default switch in difficult relationships? Good morning, everybody. It's time for Morning Manna, and absolutely got a word for you, impartation for you on this morning. I don't know about you, but every now and then you have to deal with some difficult relationships, and I want to find out how you do that. Lydia, good morning. How are you on this morning? Ella, how are you on this morning? How do you deal with difficult relationships? What are your relationship goals for difficult relationships? Put that in the chat area if you care to share it. Care to share it. We want to see what your thoughts are in difficult relationships. What are the goals? What are the goals? Good morning, Brother Jan. How are you? Hope you're feeling better. Brother Mosley, how are you? Thank you for last night. Great job. I hope you didn't feel broken up, but you did a great job. Good morning, Francine. How are you on this morning? Pamela, how are you? Liz, how are you? Dawn, how are you? Just a wonderful morning on this morning. Now, whoever is on the YouTube, I'm glad that you are a part and watching as well. Just bless God for you. And who else can I just say hello to? Good morning, Ella. How are you on this morning? This morning, relationship goals. What do you do in difficult relationships? Put it in the chat area. What do you do in difficult relationships? How do you manage that? How do you manage that? Good morning, Erica. How are you on this morning? All right. Good morning. It's Friday Eve. You're right. It really is. Good morning, Joel. How are you on this morning? Yeah, it's Friday Eve. Yep, it certainly is. What are your goals? What is the switch, your default switch in difficult relationships? Trust and believe you're gonna, if you keep living, as the old preacher said, just keep on living, you're gonna have a difficult relationship. One or two or three, whether it's in the family, whether it's on the job, whether it's in just someone, a bestie, you're going to run across some difficult relationships. And how do you manage that? How do you manage that? Good morning, Ramona. How are you on this morning? I want to just know, how do you manage that? Put it in the chat area. Muscle right first. Okay, I'm not sure what that means, Francine. Maybe you can further expound on that. Good morning, Deacon Joe. How are you on this morning? This morning, I'm jumping right into, what do you do? What is the default switch in difficult relationships? What's your go-to? How do you manage it? How do you manage it? That's what we're talking about on this morning. Relationship goals, difficult relationships. What is the default switch on that? The text, the talk, the takeaway, 5 minutes or less. Let's jump right into it. Ephesians 4:12. Ephesians 4:12 says this: always be humble and gentle. Be patient with each other, making allowance for each other's faults because of your love. Grab that. Grab that. Paul is really, he is going in on Peter, who is the young pastor at the church at Ephesus, and he's getting a lot of pushback. Timothy, I should say. Timothy is the young pastor there, and he's getting a lot of pushback. And if you were to read 1st and 2nd Timothy, you will see that Paul further talks to him about all of the things. He's a young guy, and he has elderly people that are older than him, maybe not elderly, but older than him, that really, truly are giving him push. How do you deal with that? How do we take that and overlay our situations? The first thing is, your default switch should be humility and gentleness. Humility and gentleness. If you got to win all the time, it's the opposite of humility. That's pride. If you got to have your last word all the time, that's the opposite of gentleness. That's rude. Your switch, your default switch, first thing should be, it should be humility and gentleness. That's what the text says. Always be humble and gentle. Here is the second default switch, and this is patience and perseverance. Patience and perseverance. James said it best. He said, let patience have its perfect work. If you let it have its perfect work, don't pray for it. You just got to have it and trust and believe. When you push through, someone said that they pushed through in that, let your default switch in difficult relationships be humility and gentleness, patience and perseverance. Patience and perseverance. Long suffering is another fruit of the Spirit that we should raise. That's what he said. Be patient with each other. Be patient with each other. That's what Paul is saying to the church at Ephesus. Here's the third thing in this. It said the default switch should be allowance and kindness. Allowance and kindness. Sometimes you just have to have some allowance. I'm going to have some I'm going to give you more than what you really deserve. I'm going to allow. I've got to understand that it is my right to be right, and it is also my right to back off. It's my right to be right, but it's also my right to back off. By default switch in difficult relationships, allowance and kindness. What's your takeaway? I want you to get this takeaway here. Grab this. Here is the revelation of the whole morning man. The way you see people is the way you treat them, and the way you treat them is the way you will see them, and they will become in your own eyes. Let me say that again. The way you see people is the way you will treat them, and the way you treat them is the way you will see them in your own eyes. Therefore, some allowance, some kindness, some patience, some perseverance, some humility and gentleness. The Lord be with you today. May his face shine upon you and give you peace. Tomorrow is the trailer for the Father's Day message is The Best Man. An off take from the movie. I'll see you tomorrow morning with more Morning Manna. Share the manna, don't keep it to yourself. God bless you. May his heaven smile upon you and give you peace. Bye now.